So welcome back on Lightwave Digital, and this little scene I show here is especially for beginners. He worked with Octane and Lightwave, and this scene show you how you can animate over time, color, temperature, and the power of light. And this light comes from polygons, and that polygon parts you see here in the card, it's the blue areas here, yeah? So that's separated surfaces. If you want to see how it works, you can go to the surface editor, and I built there two surfaces, and one is light front blue and the other one is light front red. And if you open there the node editor, you can see in what way it works. This technique with that Gaussian spectrum texture and that Octane texture emission node, it goes in here in the diffuse material, is it's called spectral rendering, and that's another method as if you work with the black body node. And with that setup, you can build cleaner a cleaner light output without hot pixels, yeah, and that's the reason that this is used here. You can see in the Octane Gaussian spectrum node that there's a wavelength is animated, and that mean, so you have seen before I start that little explaining video, the ready animation, so you can see that this wavelength is animated over time. So the time is 2 seconds, and in that 2 seconds the light switch from 10% wavelength to 100%, and that means it goes from yellow to blue to green and so on, yeah, and in a period from 2 seconds. And in the end from the animation, the light would be down and offline, and that's animated with power, and you find it then here, yeah. So the first 250 frames works that wavelength switch to change the color over the time, and in the end I animate here that the power goes offline. That's, I think it's interested for user who begin with Octane and want to know in what way it works, yeah. So if you load the scene, you see us first that animation. By the way, that card is ASUS Matrix 980. It's a GTX card. I think that was the time that Maxwell chip from NVIDIA was in there, and that's a typical cut file you found on GrabCAD, for example, yeah. And that cut files is a good solution for beginners to test in what way Lightwave works with cut files. So here you find the ready scene, and all surfaces are for Octane and so on and so on. But the basic file is simple, a cut file, a stereolithography file, .stl, yeah. And that's converted by myself with Lightwave and make it ready in the Lightwave modeler, and define all the textures and bring it on the card, so that we have in the end then that render output here. And that render output is, yeah, what you see is what you get, yeah. So if you go to frame 100, you see here that the color is blue. Also you can study in that scene how to work with motion blur in Octane, yeah, that's also included. You have seen it in that little animation that there is a massive motion blur inside. And that's important with a high number of motion blur, so that the radiators here works like in the real life, yeah. So that's the reason that is 24. If you take a look later in the Octane in the Octane motion blur here, you see here object motion blur step from 24. So that's the reason, yeah. All it's on here, and yeah, So that's a good example scene to learn also in what way works if you build scenes like that. Yeah, that means then you have here some options, and for that case scene is full reload for every frame, and the thing is that update light parameters here, yeah, normally everybody think you can here only use update scene and then it work with update light parameters, but in that case if you animate that Gaussian spectrum node and also the power, it works only with full scene reloaded. Yeah, so that's the reason here the scene is full reloaded, and yeah, so that we can see then it as output, so that the light parameter over the time is updated in combination with the power parameter. Yeah, so and in the end, that's one more time, that's a simple cut file. Everybody can download things like that on grabcat.com, and there you find many examples to test with that cut files the conversion process to Lightwave, so that you make from a NURBS object, bring it from NURBS COSM to the polygon COSM. Yeah, so we render in Octane with polygons, not with NURBS, and that's the reason that that kind of scenes are important for beginners to study it. Yeah, you find also in that scene 2 Octane lights. You see it here, and that Octane lights are, it's called it front side 1 and 2, and you can see that the light shape here is disk and the light type is black body, and you see here also the temperature for that 2 lights. Yeah, so one is more, this is here more orange or red, and the other is more blue, and that is to fill up a little bit the scene with a little bit more light. And you see also here that there's also another light inside, that's the Octane daylight environment, and I use there the sun, yeah, to bring a little bit more light from top to the scene. Yeah, so that's the reason it looks like in that way. And yeah, if you study that scene, you would see in what way you can animate the color temperature from a surface. Yeah, if you want that surface emitted light. Yeah, another thing you would see in that scene, if you open the graph editor, is that the sampling rate is not 1, that is 1000 to 4. Yeah, so the power of 2. If you give there another parameter as 1 sample, so for example you give him much more light samples, and then you stabilize the light output from that surfaces, you have then a cleaner rendering, and also if you have more light samples, the light would be not go darker, it go more in the other way. Yeah, so that you flood the scene with more light samples, and you can influence the distance in that the light works with the efficiency parameter. So white mean endless, yeah. So and black means that the light not influence other parts in the scene. Yeah, you can play a little bit with it. If you, for example, use then the efficiency and you say a gray, yeah, then you can influence with that the distance the light works in the scene. Yeah, so yeah, would say it's, I explain what's to explain, have many fun with that scene. So, and that's really a typical example also for cut visualization. Yeah, if you make a product visualization, animate a little bit that cut file, you convert it from the cut space to the polygon space and to Lightwave. Yeah, so okay, see you later, have fun with that scene, bye.